and welcome to HR in the Fast Lane. It's great seeing all of you, and thank you for joining us today. I have the pleasure of having Joel Goldblatt with William Bax and Saltzman as a guest on my show today, and I am absolutely thrilled that Joel could join me. Thanks, Joel.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. In case you don't know of this law firm and you don't know this attorney sitting next to me, I have to tell you, he is absolutely somebody that you would just enjoy getting to know. I think the first time we had dinner, he showed up in a Hawaiian shirt. And I'm not lying, which just puts some preference on it, right? Which is somebody that you'd really like to have a good conversation with. He really makes you feel like that inside legal counsel that most small businesses don't really get to have. And so for the clients that I serve, it's great when you can have an authentic conversation with an attorney and not feel intimidated by it.
So, dear friend, thank you.
Oh, absolutely, Joel. But I want you, the reason I wanted to really bring you out is to talk about your little project.
Yeah, the little project that turned into a big one.
Yeah.
Like writing a book with 27 other authors.
So tell me what inspired you to tackle a book, my friend.
Well, I've been in practice, in corporate practice for 32 plus years. And over that time, I've seen a lot of problems that business owners run into.
For example?
For example, treating someone as an independent contractor when you should be treating them as an employee. I saw someone go out of business doing that, and they couldn't discharge the liability in bankruptcy.
They literally went out of business?
Yeah, because they were cooked. It was over with. And it probably ruined their life.
And preventable.
Totally preventable. And they didn't know what they didn't know.
That's
and so I started thinking about my clientele and how I could help them. And I decided I could write a book. But in that project and in thinking about what the subject matter would be, I realized I may have expertise in 10 domains, but there's 33 chapters in the book.
Right.
And I wanted to have a comprehensive resource, a go-to resource for entrepreneurs to run their businesses so that they could learn what they didn't know and have a resource to come to time and time again to help them run their businesses. And so, fortunately, I like meeting people and have a good network. And so I sought out to find topic areas in the book that I didn't have the resources myself to write about.
Of course.
And so, for example, I reached out to you.
Right.
And
thank you very much.
And you wrote a fantastic chapter. I can't recommend it highly enough because it's a great resource for entrepreneurs on the HR side and the issues they have to look at. And so to complement that, we also had one of the associates in our firm draft a chapter on HR from the
legal
labor
side,
law
right?
Perspective. And we did that throughout the book. For example, I wrote a chapter on negotiating with a bank and issues you have to consider because the biggest problem I find my clients have is raising capital.
No kidding, right?
And so what I did was I then went to a banker who I respect, Colleen Ryan over at Inland Bank, and she's a whiz. She's one of the most bright, engaging, fantastic resources, and she wrote a fantastic chapter with Mark Richards on the banker's perspective. And in addition, we had a couple chapters in there about business planning, and Colleen talks about it in her chapter, but Chuck Galis talks about it in his, and Michael Shapiro, a business coach and adjunct professor at DePaul in the School of New Learning, also wrote a chapter. Because
what's consistent too, Joel, about all of the people that contributed to the book is that these aren't just theory people. These aren't just people that are teaching, but they're like working in the field. They're experts in their own right and practitioners, right?
Yeah, the book's not highbrow. It's practical, useful information. People who've been there who do it every day. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want something that is an intellectual exercise. I wanted something that's useful for everyday business owners.
Right. And how do you think that some of your clients that maybe, for example, had to learn the hard way would have benefited from this book had they had it in the beginning?
Well, I think you'd avoid pitfalls and understand when you need to reach out to somebody who's an expert in the field that you're dealing with. My manufacturing clients are constantly reaching out to me for either resources in areas that I'm not in practice in, or with regards to a myriad of legal questions, whether it's human resource issues, whether it's exporting and contractual issues,
property,
shifting risk, insurance issues. It runs the gamut
Right.
with entrepreneurs. In my practice, I'm like your outside in-house counsel.
Right.
So I get questions in the corporate realm, I get questions in the tax realm, I get questions in sales and goods and merchandise, I get questions in shareholder disputes and succession planning.
Oh, that's a topic we can touch on.
And real estate related to business.
Yeah.
So it really runs the gamut.
When I think of succession planning, right? How many CEOs do you think you serve right now that actually do not have a solid succession plan with respect to who's going to succeed them?
I would say a majority don't have a plan,
Yeah.
which is surprising but not surprising. Entrepreneurs are successful, hard-driving people who have a lot of control over what they do every day, and
love it.
And death, they figure they'll put that off. But
Right.
sometimes you can't, and certainly getting your ducks in a row and having a plan in place can bring peace of mind and reduces risk.
And what about the sustainability of the business?
That, and what about your employees
Right.
as well as your loved ones?
Right.
They both go hand in hand. And frankly, when you're going to get financing, bankers look at that. So it's a practical, everyday issue that you have to be cognizant of. It's not just, oh, I put that off and it has no impact now. It has impact now.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel that now that you have it out there and it's for sale and you got through this pet project of yours, right?
Well, I was naive when I started this project. It was really 4 projects. It was writing the chapters I wrote. It was organizing the talent and managing 27 other people.
And their calendars.
It was editing all that talent. It was creating a website with Marlene Franke, who has her own business.
Yes, which I recommend you look up as well.
Oh, she's great.
She's fantastic, yeah.
And now it's trying to market the book, which there are 4 different activities completely. And thank God I was naive when I started out, because I don't think I would have done it.
But thank heavens that you did do it.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are very curious about this book, it's called The Book for Entrepreneurs by Entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
And tell them where they can get it.
You can get it at Amazon through Kindle, or you can buy individual chapters at The Book by the number 4e.com.
That's great. And then just in case they have a legal concern, right?
Always here to help.
Then they can find you.
That's my passion, helping people and entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
I come from an entrepreneurial family in retail, and what's great about what I do is not only do I get to help people,
Yeah.
I get to see a lot of different businesses, and that crossover experience helps me help others in other fields as well. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Well, you're a wonderful research, Joel. Thank you so much for coming on
Nicole,
this show today.
thanks for having me.
It was
It's
my
a pleasure.
pleasure. And thank you, everyone. Have a great day.